Let's actually see over here. If we take a look at this on the 5-year, is the wow, wait a second. Wait a minute, guys. Look at this. Look at this movement. Oh my lord. We have a massive outlier. My lord. What? What is this? Hello, my fellow investors, and welcome back to another viewer-requested fundamental analysis video. Today, guys, we do have back the face cam. It's actual natural light now. So I spin this wheel to see what company we should analyze today using the fundamental approach as well as discounted free cash flow. And it looks pretty obvious, guys. We got the company CLOV. Now, CLOV was bought by none other than Edmund Price. So, if you're still watching, Edmund, well, here is your recommendation for this company. So, let's take a look at, well, first of all, here's the comment where you recommended this. And let's take a look at this company, see their fundamentals, see what they do, and see if at the current share price, this is looking like a buy. So, with that said, let's get started with this analysis. So here we have the company, guys, Clover Health. Now, this one, man, I've already taken a look at the fundamentals for these, and it does not look too hot. But nonetheless, we can still take a look at this company. Now, let's take a look at what they actually do, because, well, I mean, obviously they're in the healthcare sector, but taking a look at their company profile, we can see Clover Health Investment Corp provides Medicare Advantage plans in the United States. The company, through its Clover Assistance, a software platform that provides preferred provider organization and health maintenance health plans for Medicare eligible consumers. It also focuses on non-insurance businesses. The company was incorporated in 2014. It's based in Franklin, Tennessee. All right, very cool. Now, guys, 2014, that's very new. All right, so just keep that in mind when we take a look at these numbers, because they're not gonna be that good. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna be too hot. Now, taking a look at their earnings, they had this on May 9th. We can see that EPS normalized actual came in at negative 14 cents. This was a beat though, even though it wasn't negative, it was a beat by 3 cents. EPS gap actual, negative 15, beat by 4. Revenue, $527.78 million, which is a beat by $29.04 million. So, based off of that, y'all know exactly how that PE is going to look like. In fact, coming in here into the calculator, we can see that we got the ticker CLOV, market cap of $422.07 million, and a PE of NA. Yeah, guys, their net income is in the negatives. That's it. That's literally it. So, yeah, already a problem. And to add more fuel to the fire, this is a penny stock. Current share price of 87, literally a penny stock actually, 87 cents. Taking a look at this graph on the 1 year, we can see that it is down 61.27%. Year to date, this thing is also down 11.12%. 52-week range is 71 cents to $3.55. I don't know if this is all-time lows though. Let's actually see over here. If we take a look at this on the 5-year, is the wow, wait a second. Wait a minute, guys. Look at this movement. Oh my lord. Look at what was that? What was that back in what was that, in 2021? I can't, it's not letting me do it, but let's actually come over here and let's actually see if I could do this right here. What was this price? Not that price. What was that price? Let's take a look at this on the 5-year. That was $16. That was $16. Let me get this whole graph into the frame, guys. $16, and the current share price is 87 cents. 87 cents. Talk about just massive euphoria. This was in 2020, so COVID, right? Okay, that makes sense, right? Because their whole thing is healthcare and Medicare, to be exact. So, yeah, dealing with older people, that makes a lot of sense. Right here, guys, a lot of people would have said to the moon. Guess what? We're going to the moon, but like it's the other moon meme where like it's the moon, but like it's below the earth and like the stock price just goes down. But that's insane. That's absolutely insane. A company that, again, a lot of you guys maybe in 2020, they were like, oh my god, this thing is gonna explode because COVID is the new thing apparently. And 87 cents is absolutely crazy. So that puts all of this into a much Wow. Okay, that puts all of this into a much different kind of light. And yeah, coming back over here, we can see that they don't pay out a dividend, which means all of this free cash flow is going straight into themselves. However, their last year's free cash flow is negative $185 million, and their last year's free cash flow is even worse, negative $208.4 million. Guys, that is not good. Obviously, every investment is the present value of all future cash flow. I'm looking at this, I'm just like, oh boy, that is not good at all. So let's jump now into their fundamentals. We got the net income 5 years ago of negative $202 million to 1 year ago of negative $338.8 million. That is a decrease of 68%. Worst year, guys, was 2 years ago, negative $588 million. Now, you can see here that COVID was actually really, really good for them. They almost broke the positive, but you guys can see that this thing is just heading downhill fast. So it had a few years, 2 years only, where it went up slightly. Guys, it's not giving me much to work with here. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt, 5%, mainly because from 2 to 1 year ago, but that's really it. Really isn't much here. Looking now into the cash flow. Okay, very, very similar to that of the net income. Consistently decreasing 5 years ago of a negative $155 million to 1 year ago of negative $208.4 million, decrease of 35%, with an average, as we saw, of negative $185.06 million. Again, decreasing. It's pretty much the exact same thing as that of the net income, right? It's the exact same thing as the net income. Numbers are a little bit different, but the overall trend and even the movement is very, very similar. So I'm gonna have to give this thing, guys, 5% again. You know, it's not good. Now, looking at the revenue. All right, now we're starting to get somewhere. However, we have a massive outlier. We have a massive outlier as of 1 year ago. Look at this outlier, guys. 5 years ago of $281 million to 1 year ago of $3.58 billion. Look at that increase, 1,174.06%. Bruh, that is insane. That is absolutely insane. And look at this, even, okay, from 3 years ago to 2 years ago, it was a bigger jump than I would like, but it's nothing compared to like the 1.4 billion or the 1.36 billion to the $3.58 billion, guys. I get that it's increasing. That's a massive outlier though. So overall, I can't give this thing higher than like a 30%. I was about 20. I would say 30%, I guess. Now, taking a look at the total assets minus the total liabilities. Wow. Okay. 5, 4, 3 years ago, all negative. 3 years ago is understandable, but I guess it's not really that bad because if you take a look at 5 and 4 years ago, it was bringing it back to 0. What I don't like is this massive jump, right? Because even if you take 3 years as an outlier, guys, you know, negative 40.8 million 4 years ago to 539.3 million 2 years ago, that's insane. You can see that even after that, it's coming down. It really is coming back down to, I guess, 0. That's not good. That's not good at all. Average total assets is $763.5 million. Average liabilities is $562.7 million. Doing the difference, we get $200.78 million. An overall grade of, oh man, I'm gonna have to give this an overall grade of like a, I don't know. I do not know. Man, this company is really difficult. I'm gonna go with a 25%. I'm changing my mind, 25% on this one, because we can see that it was increasing from 5 to 4, but as of 2 years ago, it's decreasing, so 25%. Looking now into the cash flow minus the liabilities. Well, it's consistently decreasing. That's something. And on top of that, not consistently though, actually, I'm going to take that back a little bit. It's not consistently decreasing, but you can see that from essentially 5 to 2 years ago, it's going downhill. 2 years ago was the worst year, but as of 2 years ago to 1 year ago, it's slightly better, but really nothing to see here, guys. We're still way, way, way below that of the average of negative $574.72 million. 1 year ago, guys, it was negative $669.3 million. I have to give this thing a 5%. Nothing really to work with here. Absolutely nothing. Looking now at the shares outstanding. My lord. What? What is this? All right, guys. Shares outstanding. The silent killer when it comes to investing. Not surprising that this company is doing this, right? It's not surprising at all. However, it's not something that you would like to see because that's an insane dilution. We got 5 years ago of 42.2 million to today of $482.6 million. Look at that percent. Look at that percent. 1,043. Previous to the current year is another increase of 0.88%, guys. Oh man, consistently increasing it. And you can see that massive jump from 3 to 2 years ago. Sure, you could say, oh, but COVID. Yeah, but even from 2 to 1 year ago, increased it from 470.8 million to $478.4 million. So I mean, this is horrendous. This is horrendous. I understand, especially being 87 cents, right? That's not the time to be issuing shares. That's the time to be buying back shares, assuming you have the capital, except they don't, which is why they're issuing shares to gain that capital. This is horrendous. I have to give this thing a 0%. Looking now into the cash equivalents, they currently hold $190.6 million with an average of $138.3 million. Well, when it comes to the overall grades, I mean, I gave this thing 2 5% and a 0%. Actually, 3 5%, sorry, and a 0%. Yeah, I mean, net income 5%, free cash flow 5%, revenue 30%, assets minus liabilities 25%, cash flow minus liabilities 5%, sales standing of 0, total grade of 11. Yeah, no, guys, 11%. This is a company that I'm looking at it and I'm just like, nah, man, this thing needs a lot more time to be profitable. I'm not risking my money into this because, I mean, look at what happened during 2020. Sure, they had a massive rise. $16. I showed everybody the graph. $16. In fact, I'm going to show it to you guys one more time. Look at this. December 28th, 2020. $16.82. Look at what it is now. $87, guys. $87. That is not good in the slightest. Again, $87. That is a massive drop overall. And a lot of people, if you held through that long, I'm so terribly sorry that you lost 90% of all of your, all of your investment in this company. But honestly, you probably could have seen it coming with these fundamentals, right? So it is what it is, man. Nonetheless, though, 11% it kind of shows as to why it's worth 87 cents. Now, let's actually use this kind of free cash flow and project this thing into the future to see what price we should pay for it today. Alright, guys, and now taking a look at the discounted free cash flow, not inputting anything, we could see $6, not adjusting for debt, to $12.42. That's interesting, because what did I just say, right? However, this is not taking into account that share issuing, right? The reason why it's like this, it's because, well, they don't really, 400 million shares is not really a lot of shares, right? But that's the reason why. Now, that share dilution, it is a lot, 1,000%, right? I personally, we can make the assumptions here, but I'm going to have to put that projected shares outstanding, guys, a lot, like a lot. Because I think that they're just going to continue to issue more shares. So let's input in some numbers. We got the revenue forward, 12.72%. Okay, let's continue with that, right? Let's continue with that seeking alpha kind of assessment. So 12.72, I'm going to say for the low assumption, I was going to say 10. Let's go with 8. Let's bring it up by 3. Let's make it to 11. And then let's bring it up by 3 again. Let's make that 14. I think that's pretty fair, right? I think that's pretty fair. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, honestly. Now, the projected share, but actually, just inputting this revenue, look at that, $16 to $19.77, adjusting for debt. Very, very interesting, right? Very, very interesting. Also, something to know, too. The reason why the after debt one is so much higher by $10 than the not adjusting for debt, yeah, they really don't have a lot of net debt, which is a good thing, right? That's a really, really good thing. But here's the thing, shares outstanding. I think they're going to continue to issue more shares. I think they are. At 1,000% rate, I mean, if I were to do that, let's actually, I'm actually curious. Let's take this high assumption, and then let's put in negative 950%. My God. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is right there. If you do that with the highest assumption, that gives you, wow. Okay, so very, very interesting. I guess let's continue that trend. Let's say negative, oh boy, negative 900 and let's go up by 20, I guess. Negative 920, not 920, 970. Sorry, 970. Okay, and then, actually no, sorry. This should be the lowest. This should be, what is that? Negative 990. Sorry. Negative 990. Negative 990. There we go. And now, for the media assumption, we got negative 970. Okay, and then negative 950. Perfect. Guys, 10 cents to 13 cents. And then adjusting for debt, 20 cents to 27 cents. Margin of safety of 5, 10, 15, 17 cents to 26 cents. Yeah, it's, this thing still needs to fall a lot more. So I don't know what you would do with this company, guys. You know, guys, I empathize with you, but man, most of these companies that fall that much, you can easily tell that they're going to fall because of just looking at the net income alone. You know, negative net income, that right there is just such a big red flag, right? I guess that it can be growing, but in this case, it's not, right? It really, really isn't. It's all over the place. Let me bring up that graph for everybody one more time. That's not growing, guys. That net income is not growing in the slightest, right? It's the trend line is to go down. It's very, very choppy. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry if you bought into this company at $16 thinking it was going to go to 160, but that massive share dilution killed you. It really, really did. So I'm so terribly sorry. My recommendations, and that's all I'm gonna say, is if you're still in this, I would just take the L. I really would. I get it's a 90% drop, but I personally, I would just take the L, learn from my mistakes, and move on to a company that's profitable, right? Find one that is somewhat fair value, which we have taken a look here on the channel a lot, and put money into that one, right? But I would not be holding this any longer. At least that's just what I would do. Not financial advice. Obviously, every investment, guys, is the present value of all future cash flow. Everything you saw here on this video today is available for free, including my calculator, so please use them. They're not the end all be all, right? They're not the end all be all, but they should at least guide you. They should at least, you know, this whole graphs, that's available for everybody too. If you guys put in the company that you want, if you put in their fundamentals, then, you know, that can actually tell you whether or not you're in the right path or not, right? In this case, it's not. So it is what it is. So again, I empathize with everybody that has lost money. Me personally, I would just take the L. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I mean, I'm just saying I would just take the L and then just put it into a company that's actually cash flow positive. But that's just me. If you guys like the kind of content we make, Mike does the technical analysis. I do the fundamental analysis. We stream together sometimes. We also do an update every single Saturday where we update everybody on the market. And give our opinions as to what's going to happen next. And if you guys like all this kind of content and more to come, by the way, more to come, please like, subscribe, comment. It really does help her with the algorithm on YouTube. That's really all we're asking for, right? That's really, really all we're asking for. I appreciate it if you guys were to, you know, send tips our way. Great, awesome. But again, we really would just like it if we were to grow the channel, right? That's the goal, is to eventually make this our own business and not have to do a 9-to-5 job. And then, you know, not have the time to, well, we would have a lot more time to do more of this, right? So that's just the goal. And again, thank you all so much for everybody who have subscribed so far, the people who comment. Guys, by the way, one more thing. If you guys have any more recommendations, please tell me, because the month of June is about to end. And I want to, there's still a couple more days. I would actually argue like a week before the banks start their earnings. And once the banks start earnings, I'm not going to take any more of the recommendations for several weeks, actually. So if you guys want your recommendations in and possibly the chance of it being chosen by the wheel, then, you know, tell me now, right? Tell me now. So just keep that in mind. And also, next week, I will not be going to work. So you guys will be getting a whole lot of me throughout the entire week because I'm going to be at home. But again, guys, thank you so much for everybody who have subscribed. We really do appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you all so much. And surprisingly enough, taking a look at the options chains, this company has options. I didn't even realize that. Okay, now we're looking at the July 7th one. there's no bids for the puts. There's literally 0 bids for the puts. For the calls, there's 1 at $1 for a dollar. That's for a premium of $1. July 14th, exact same thing. The call side, we got $2 now. So not a lot of premiums when it comes to this company, guys. Not one that you would sell covered calls or cash your puts in. All in all, thank you so much for the recommendation. You know, it's a company that it has, I guess it's a growth company, right? It's a growth company, though it's not really doing that much growing right now. It's a company that personally, if I would have known about this in 2020, if I was making videos, I think I wasn't. No, I was not making videos in 2020. If you would have shown me this company in 2020, I would have been like, nope. And I'm fairly certain, I'm not necessarily saying you, Edmund, but I'm fairly certain that a lot of people would be like, no, you're wrong. It's going to skyrocket to the moon. You don't know what that 87 cents. So another one that proves me right. But anyways, guys, that pretty much does it for this video. Y'all can follow us on the new tech sites. Link is in the description below. So with that said, peace out, and we'll see you all next time.